What's going on YouTube? And today we're going to be going over why a veteran could possibly pursue an MBA. No, I'm not talking about DeVry or Webster or Phoenix or Naval War College or any of those universities that really don't matter as soon as you get out the military and nobody's ever really heard of. We are talking about a top-ranked MBA or Master's of Business Administration. So we're going to be going over the value of a top-ranked MBA as a possible transitionary pathway as soon as you get out the military. And there's a lot to this onion, so cue the intro.
Okay guys, so let's go ahead and set some ground rules or some parameters for this episode. So when you hear me say top-ranked MBA, there's a ranking system within the United States where all the biggest companies in the world, to include banks, consulting firms, tech firms, venture capital, private equity, even other pathways that you can use to build a business of your own while you're in school, and yes, I did not stutter when I say this, can be found. A lot of these agreements and partnerships can typically be found in the top 25 of all MBA programs in the United States. And this ranking system and more can be found on the website poetsandquants.com. Okay guys, so this brings me up to my first point of industry exposure. So an MBA can expose you to many different industries that you may not have been aware of or even have access to. So a few of these can be entrepreneurship, real estate, energy consulting, investment banking, venture capital, and the list just goes on and on. So you can use this as an opportunity post-military to kind of see what's out there and to build your skills and network while you're in school. Which leads me to my next point, and that is going to be salary insights, which is going to be really important post-military. So I'm just going to leave this to the saying of a lot of my colleagues that ended up in the higher MBA programs, and it goes something to the effect, if all else fails in business school, then at least you'll be making six figures. And that holds true because of two reasons. So, schools work really hard to build relationships with companies and other entities so they can hire you as what's called a post-MBA graduate. And this is what helps increase their school ranking. So what I mean by that is that you're going to be getting guaranteed an internship, which is going to turn into full-time employment. And then the higher that a school's average salary is for that year, then the higher chance that they have to get ranked. So that's going to work out in your favor because quite literally the system is meant to set you up for success. Now, I would like to forward you to this graphic, and this is coming right from the Rice School Jones of Business employment reports for the class of 2021's MBA, and this is for any top program. You can literally Google it and find it. So it says that the average base salary was $131,384, which is the highest recorded in school history. The median base salary was $135,000, the highest record median salary in history, and quite literally 100% of students seeking an internship got it. So that's always refreshing. And then I'm just going to leave it with this graph. This is compensation by function. You have a lot, not all, but you have consulting, finance and accounting, general management, the marketing and sales, operations and logistics, and others. And as you can see, these are salaries on the high end. So, safe to say this is a good pandemic buffer in this case. So, what you're going to expect as an MBA graduate, you're going to be able to bypass the entry-level roles in a lot of these industries. And that's going to be quite refreshing because in the military, we all start out at the bottom to some capacity. So this is going to be a nice change of pace. So I'm just going to leave this to another graphic, and this is going to be the hierarchy about how it works in the field of financial consulting. Now keep in mind this is just one of many. As you can see the business analyst, which is the pre-MBA, and then the next up is where you would be starting at in a consultant type role. As you can see, this salary is exponentially higher with higher bonuses and higher performance bonuses. Now this is going to vary from firm to firm, but you will always start out above the analyst pre-MBA role. That's just how the hierarchy works, and this always leads to higher salaries and a higher bonus potential. Okay guys, so in this next part, literally you're gonna live or die by this, and this is the concept of networking. And as I've said many times before, your network can literally determine your net worth. So depending on the school that you go to, the clubs that you join, the relationships that you build, and the community that you foster, it's going to open up infinite opportunities during your MBA experience. To add on to that point, a lot of wealthy investors, CEOs, corporate figures, alumni of prominence, they are very thankful for their MBA experience and they like to give back. So this kind of creates that open door policy to, one, alleviate stress from your job hunt if that's what you're into, or two, it can even fuel your entrepreneurial ventures. So I'm just going to move on to my case. So I'll be on to Rice, which is located in Houston. I'm pretty new to the area, but I've been able to talk to commercial real estate experts, tech founders, entrepreneurs, and even prominent public figures, only because they don't know that much about me other than the fact where I'm going to school in the fall. So that just shows you the power of the network. And who knows, you might find a band of lifelong friends and you guys might get together and make the next huge startup. Okay, so if all this was sounding alluring, we're going to go to the admissions part of this. So I think this is becoming popular among veterans because literally your military experience covers about 95% of the application. So let's start with work experience. You literally showing up to work every day qualifies as full-time work experience. There is nothing more to be said there. Letters of recommendation. So literally don't burn any bridges. Do a good job. Ask your bosses with enough time. Grab the school's format and then adjust accordingly. Nothing more needs to be said there. Transcripts. Okay, so you need to have at least an undergrad transcript. If you're not an officer, that is no issue. Just get cracking on it active duty. Little by little, credit by credit, just compile all of that and then throw it in the application. Nothing more needs to be said about that point. So next, you're going to have your essays. Now, you just being in the military, you're going to have tons of stories compared to your average PNC bank teller that you're in competition with. So just delve into your experiences. And this should also lead into an interview. As stated previously, just be yourself, delve into your experiences, and nothing more needs to be said. And I think one thing that I left out is a resume, but don't worry, there's tons of guidance on that. In fact, I'll link some resources in the bio, but it needs to be about 1 page. So a lot of veterans kind of get in trouble when they try and write a novel for a resume. So please do not do that. So guys, let's go into the cost. So I'm not going to delve too deep into this because literally this can be a video in and of itself, but there's going to be plenty of scholarship opportunities, especially if you're in the military. Also, you have a very powerful tool, and that's going to be the GI Bill. And if you're going to one of the bigger private schools, you have what's called a yellow ribbon program that can literally fill the gaps that the GI Bill can't. Also, you're going to have an opportunity for one or multiple paid internships. And if you do have to take out loans, just go with the satisfaction that anything post-MBA compensation, bonuses, and network is going to make it well worth its while. So guys, I hope that this synopsis was sufficient. I'm going to be taking you through my MBA experience, literally with my camera, with all the classes, the networking, and all of that, just to show you. And I'm even hoping to do some cool things like run my first marathon sometime in between there. You know, maybe be the athletic intern of some point, or maybe even start my own startup. But I'm going to show you what it looks like from the first-hand view. So guys, like, comment, subscribe. Please comment for the algorithm, because I know there's a lot of veterans that are curious about the MBA side of the house, and I'm hoping to be the solution. So guys, I'll see you on the next one.